Greetings and salutations, my fellow Illumineers. It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another Lorcana video. In the building with me today, I have another player that you definitely should know, a player that needs no introduction, winner of two, not one, but two Golden Mickeys. In the building with me today, I have a Blue Steel icon, a Blue Steel ambassador. With me today, I have none other than Jonathan Lamb, everybody. Air horns, guns up, boom, 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 boom. Yo, 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 yo. Jonathan Lamb, we've been talking about this for a while. I'm glad you're finally by the program. You're able to come on in. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks. I'm doing good. That was an amazing introduction. And just as you were saying, like, we've been talking about this for maybe like 5 months now.
Yeah. I'm glad it's finally happened, man. And I got to say, I'm such a huge fan of you. Thank you for everything you did to my own personal game and everything you've done to Disney Lorcana. But the name of this show is players that you should know. And a lot of people probably know you, but for people that don't, go ahead and take a little bit of time to introduce yourself, talk about your Lorcana journey, how you got to this point, and how long you've been playing this game.
For those who don't know, my name is Jonathan Lamb. I usually go by Lamchops, and for my tournament in Melbourne, my username was Captain Kangaroo. It's just an inside joke. There's a old TV show called Lamchops.
Yeah, it's Lamchops, play along. Come join the kids and play along.
And it was run on a TV network called Captain Kangaroo, and I left it up to my locals to decide what my name would be. So that's why I'll be changing it back though when Melee lets me. But I'm 22. I am currently in university for electrical engineering. Lorcana is like my dream career. Hopefully there will be many more years to come in this game for me.
If you guys don't know, Lamchops here, aka Captain Kangaroo, aka Jonathan Lamb, he was my first coach. He kind of brought me into the Blue Steel community. He kind of taught me how to play, got me right, and he's a super intelligent person. I think his skill exceeds his age. But why did you start playing Lorcana at all? Like, how did you get into this game? That seems like did you play any trading card games before, or you just kind of just said, I'm gonna try this out?
Yeah, so like when I grew up, I loved like collecting Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't, right? I was visiting a friend who worked at a card store, and it was the day that Lorcana was releasing. So it was like the Thursday of, and then the next day was Friday, and I saw, oh, there's these like new packs, and it's like my friend was like, oh, there's this new Disney game coming out. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. That sounds fun. And I had never really had the opportunity to play card games before, even though I really wanted to. I would like always beg my parents to bring me to Pokemon League, but I went like once, I think, and that was really exciting. But I'm a little bit older now. I get to like try my hand at something new, and I was really excited that there's a new game coming out and that I'll be able to start right when it released.
So that's pretty cool. Your first TCG, and you're having such an incredible run, such an incredible amount of success. I can list all of your accomplishment here, but man, you've had such a stellar season in this opening year of Lorcana, earning not one but two Golden Mickeys, topping multiple DLCs, winning several Let It Goes. I mean, how many Let It Goes do you have at this point? Like, I can't even. I've lost count.
Yeah, I have 5 now.
Oh, boom. That's nuts. You need. Oh my goodness, dude. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, these are my 5. These are my favorite promos. So like, I just sell the rest of them, but I like to keep these because they're like the cheapest one, and they're just like a keepsake for my tournaments.
That is insane. Like, I mean, a lot of people can play for a long time and never get one, and you're sitting here casually holding the 5. Can you just talk about consistency? What is it that you think allows you to be so consistent? Because I know a lot of players have issues with that.
I think it's luck. Maybe I'm just consistently lucky. I really prepare a lot before each DLC, and I make sure that I know all the matchups in and out and all of my starting lines that I would like to look for in the mulligans. And I just play slowly, try to think through every situation, and just really keep in mind that every single game is a learning experience. And I think that if you consistently learn, then you'll just consistently become better and consistently perform. And that's the most important thing. It's not really whether you win or lose. It's about whether you feel like you improved from the last time you played.
Wise well beyond your years, I gotta say. But when you play, you typically only play the one strategy. You know, you're a one-trick pony. I'm kidding. You're not. That's not true. But you
I am
play
a one-trick pony.
That
is very true.
You pretty much play only the Blue Steel strategy. I'm gonna pull up your latest deck list that you've been playing. Here is the Blue Steel strategy, Sapphire and Steel strategy. strategy. Well known for playing Whole New World. Well known for playing Ramp. Well known for playing like cards that can help clear the board and help control the board. Mid range control, anti meta strategy. What is it about this deck that draws you in at the Blue Steel? It's one of the harder decks to use, but what is it about Blue Steel that you enjoy the most?
Honestly, the reason why I got into the deck was probably just because blue is my favorite color.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I played any other games, I would always pick characters that are blue, or I would name my username after something blue, like water or aqua or whatever, something like that. But so that's probably why it appealed to me. My first starter deck was the blue steel starter deck, so maybe yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
really like the idea of ramping and playing Whole New World. And so that's probably why I've stuck with it. I pretty much played that throughout all the sets except for set 2, where I played red purple, but I think everyone played red purple in set 2.
But your deck is extra unique. I know a lot of people kind of abandon ship in set 6 because we really didn't get that many tools to add to the deck. As you're one of the people who stuck true, stayed with the blue steel, and you came out with a pretty unorthodox strategy. I think you're playing cards that a lot of people who did stick with blue steel kind of didn't play. You got the Pleakley in there, you have the Simba, you have the Pyros, and we're able to see this in the Australian tournament and also in the 10K down at Southside Game. It's pretty much the exact same deck list. Can you just talk about your build briefly? I know you've got deck profiles and things on your metafy, so just kind of a summary and why you put this deck together this way with the Twin Fires and the Whole New World and everything of that sort.
So I think that it's really strong in the current meta, and a lot of people had trouble finding good answers to the problems that the metagame presents. But I think that with like current creative deck building and really understanding how to punish each deck's weak points, I think that Blue Steel is actually in a quite a good spot because it has all the tools and it's a very toolboxy deck that allows you to have very even matchup spreads, and you can use your skill to pilot to get those wins where you need them. So I think Blue Steel has always been very consistent into the current meta. It's just a matter of can you really find the answers to opponents' threats
Mm.
that are either both flexible in other matchups and also efficient.
Right. So, what out of all the matchups that you face in our current game, what is the matchup that you want to play against the most using this strategy?
It's definitely red purple. I think red purple has always been one of the most favorite matchups for Blue Steel,
Mm.
as they just play a simple curve game and they don't have many strong power lines, but they have very consistent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Blue Steel, if you are able to ramp and control the early game, suddenly their 7 ink turn where you have like 12 or 13 ink, and it's hard for them to their deck just lacks the power level in order to deal with all the threats that we can put on the board.
I mean, I know which ones I don't want to see when you're sitting down. Who is it? What is a deck that you absolutely just don't want to play against if you can avoid it at all in your tournament run?
I think the least favored matchup that I don't like to play against is surprisingly probably Purple Steel.
Really?
Yeah, Purple Steel is a lot of people have been practicing that deck a lot, and so
Mm.
they have become quite proficient at piloting it. And I haven't had much practice against it, so I don't know the best strategies and the best lines to use against them. And whereas all the other matchups, I feel very confident that given all my practice and given getting the right draws, that I have a pretty good chance of winning against
Mm.
them.
Okay. So you took this deck and you went down to Australia. Okay. That is a long way to go to play some Disney Lorcana. You were on a hunt to get your World's invitation. You just came up super, super short of that goal. But still, can you just talk about that experience? Leaving America to fly probably a 20 to 24-hour flight down to Australia to participate in the tournament. And then you showed up and actually had a great success. You achieved a golden Mickey there. Can you talk about that experience flying down to Australia, participating in that tournament? What was the vibe like down there, down under?
It was a crazy trip, honestly. I didn't really plan ahead very much for this trip. Leaving on Wednesday and arriving there on Friday was definitely a strange feeling. And my flight, one of them got delayed by 15 hours, so I had to take a different route through New Zealand, and that was very hectic and crazy. But I'm glad to have made it. Yeah, it was a really fun experience. It was definitely something I was never really expecting to do in my life, but Lorcana it's something that brings us opportunities, and that's something that's really cool.
So you wait. So you showed up and then you got there and played in the tournament the next day?
Yes, I left on Wednesday around, I can't remember, I think it was around 8 p.m. And then I arrived there on Friday around 7 or 6 p.m. and I just slept for the night and then woke up and competed the next morning.
That is insane. I think you no offense. Oh, that's I mean, I can tell you that's not right. You got to get yourself a little bit of time to get
Yeah,
acclimated to
for
the
sure.
jet lag before you do something.
Honestly, honestly, my sleep schedule in Australia was much better than it is normally when I'm in the States.
That's
I
funny.
was sleeping
Okay.
at like 11 p.m. and waking up at 7 a.m. every single day that I was in Australia. Whereas like when I was in the States, I would be like sleeping at 7 a.m. and waking up at like noon.
That is so funny. Well, I guess you're a college student, so you're probably used to going off no sleep. But I could never, I couldn't imagine. You're wild for that. But it worked out. Clearly, it worked out. You got what you wanted, except for that world's invite, man. So you want to talk about that? I know that was one of your goals on your early on in the season, getting to the world championship. You made it to Nats. You had a pretty good run at Nats, but unfortunately weren't able to get the markers you needed. You had a good run that day, that next day, but just talk about that coming up short and not making it to where you wanted to be down there in Australia.
So it's a little unfortunate, of course. I think that I did my best, and
Mm-hmm.
also the definitely the top eight game affected our side of the bracket a
Mm-hmm.
lot, especially since yeah. So, but other than that, like I think that Ravensburger did a great job at helping out the community and giving us some hope that they're actually listening, and that
Right.
I'm really grateful and glad that they gave Jesse his Mickey. I think that's the biggest thing. And honestly, I can't really complain. Obviously, it would be nice to go to Worlds. That was my dream for a long time. But we go on. We
For
live,
sure.
right?
For
So
sure.
everything's okay. I'm just really grateful and happy for all the people who were supporting me there, and that Ravensburger did come up with a good solution.
Absolutely, I love how quickly they acted on it, and I think the right choice happened in the end. But I would like to see you and Jesse have a face off, dude. Same decks, same time. Let's load up and play, and whoever wins that, let's
It's
get them
like
into Worlds. I think that would be really cool to see. But
like
unfortunately,
an
I don't think that can
alternate timeline.
happen. Yeah, but still, I think there might be some extra Worlds invites. Maybe you've done enough through this season, and maybe they'll be able to like a pass down or something. Because I think what you've accomplished this season it will translate. Two golden Mickeys is quite an impressive feat. A lot of people haven't done that. But I gotta ask some personal questions. Now we gotta get a little personal. I'm gonna go back to my personal screen here. I gotta get to know you. Okay. I'm an old man. Okay. I'm significantly older than you. Okay. You are my coach. You are my sensei. Even though you're younger than I am, you are wiser beyond your years. But there's a very interesting way that you type on these text messages, on these tweets, and on these things. Can you talk about that? What's up with that? What is that all about? I always assumed it's just not for me to understand because I'm old, but I gotta know, like, what is that all about?
So I think I developed this typing style when I was in middle school, and honestly, when you type really quickly, the I key is actually closer to like the L key or like the P key and like the K key, and the Y's in at the ends of words like happy,
Yeah.
lovely, they always come after one of those keys, and I is just closer, so it's just quicker to type that way. And I always type in no caps because I hate caps. Like I think it looks so horrible. So yeah, I prefer to type in all undercase, and then I do add those little I's at the end of each word if it could be replaced with a Y.
Okay, okay. That make I guess I get it now, but now I'm it took me a while to understand, but I'm glad you explained it. So
Yeah.
it's just a more streamlined way of typing, faster,
Exactly. And
more efficient.
I think for some of the older folks in the community, I should offer some translation services for
Please,
them.
please.
Okay.
I personally would appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing that. And now I know. And knowing is half the battle.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Next question I need to know. Your hair, okay? Your hair has become a feature. It's been out of control this whole time. What's the deal with your hair and all the things your hair has been going throughout this season? Because it's always, even right now in this very video, your hair is unkempt to say the least. What's up with your hair and why is it so unruly?
I was trying to fix it before this interview, but it wasn't really working out. For the tournament days when I'm on stream though, it's usually just because I'm not very self-conscious. I'm the complete opposite of self-conscious. So you'll often see me just squatting around on the floor or like not even paying attention to what's going on around me. I'm just oblivious. But really during tournament days, my key most important thing that I want to be is comfortable. And I
Mm,
will definitely not be like putting on contacts, or I will not be like doing my hair all nice. I just
Yeah.
want to be comfortable. I just want to be in my like comfort zone, and so I can really focus on the game, even if that means my hair might be a little spiky in
Okay.
some areas.
And that's something, hey, that's something to take away. If you're out here watching this, if you're watching this video right now, maybe just don't worry about your hair and just show up and be ready to play, and it all will come together. I like that. I like that people focus on too much of your personal appearance, and you're gonna forget that the game needs to be played. So I actually enjoy that. I like it a lot. But now, here's my favorite part. I like to ask, who are your top 5 players? You got to give me 5, and it doesn't matter any particular order in the game right now, color indiscriminate. Who are your top 5 players? Who do you not want to face?
The top players would be the ones I want to face the
Oh,
most.
okay.
I think the top 5 players for me would be the Candio. Sadly, I don't know if he can play anymore.
Yeah.
Zan, DKP, Kendall, maybe Bivens.
Bivens. Okay.
Sorry if I didn't. Yeah, sorry if I didn't say anyone's name. I think
course.
these are phenomenal players.
Of course. I think that's one of those things where you just have to. Somebody's gonna get left off because there's so many incredible players in this game. There's no way you can get everybody in there, especially when you limit it to 5. But I think those are great players. And then you're right. We did lose an absolute icon. I think the Candio is a very strong player, and him going to work for RV, I think that was a great call for them. I think he's gonna be an awesome hire, and I think he's gonna help the game.
I actually really like Ed too.
Yeah,
I think Ed is great.
I think Ed is so quiet. I think that's what it is. But he's secretly one of the best players probably ever. He's a national champion, and he's got the he's got the VLC win. Like, no one's doing that.
Yeah.
But he always gets forgotten. I don't know why. He's definitely on my list. But there are so many incredible players in this first year, including yourself, whether you like it or not. You're gonna go down in history as one of the best to do it, and I do appreciate it, man. But now I got last thing before we do. I like to do a bit of spitfire. I like to pick your brain. How this works, I'm going to throw some cards at you, and then you just tell me what you think about those cards. Okay, are you ready? Okay, off the top of the dome, we're going to throw some new cards in here too. All right, so you got to be really, really focused. New cards, and
right.
we're going to throw some new cards in there, and we're going to sprinkle them in. The first card is going to be Fishbone Quill. Thoughts? OP.
One of the most OP cards in the game. Yes.
Ever printed.
It just enables so much. Yeah, it enables so much. Especially if you have Holy World. Can completely take over a game by itself.
The next one is going to be the new Tamatoa. What do you think about this new Tamatoa card that's coming out? OP.
I love it. I woke up from my nap and I saw it and I was rejoicing. I was like dancing up and down. I was jumping everywhere. I was so happy to see it. I think it will put Blue Steel at a considerably higher power level.
Okay. The next card, you might offend some people with this, so you got to be careful. The next card I want to throw at you is Baymax, the Armored Champion. He's got a lot of fans out there. What do you think about Baymax?
Trash. Absolute garbage. I think he's only good against steel decks, and he's horrible against red decks.
Dude, you just offended the whole Baymax community, dude.
Oh no, I love Baymax. I think Baymax is cool, but I think the card is bad.
Okay.
There's no connection between the Baymax character and the stats on the card or the text on the card, right? It's just an image that's just slapped on there and it says Baymax. But so, no offense to Baymax, but offense to the card.
That's fair. All right, we're gonna do a couple more. I'm gonna throw this one at you. I know you said this is one of your favorite cards. I'm gonna mention Let It Go. What are your thoughts on Let It Go? A lot of people are cutting this card.
It's good, dependent on the meta, and I think that it will always be good to keep in your deck because it's just unconditional removal. But it definitely can be too slow. But if the meta is slows down and there's a lot of decks playing big guys, then it's going to be really good.
I got two more cards for you. 2 more cards. I want to talk about the new Sapphire and Steel dual ink card. One of my favorite cards. I'm talking about the Lady Cluck, dude. What do you think about the Lady Cluck?
Chicken?
The chicken. What do you think about the Lady Cluck?
My first impression was trash,
Okay.
but after giving it some careful consideration, I think it might be okay.
Okay.
I think that in a no-wheel build, it could be good post-wheel to protect your Singer, or in a no-wheel build, a more aggressive version, it could be good at the top end of your curve. But I think Ward is great. It's kind of sad that Quest for 1. Yeah, that's a big downside.
Obviously, that too is always going to be a huge factor. All right, and the last one I want to talk about, the last card, here it is. Your guy, you put this card on the map. You put a couple cards on the map, but you put this one on the map. No one believed in him until you came along. The homie Pleakley, dude. What do you think about Pleakley? Can you just explain Pleakley and why this card is so good to you? Because a lot of people aren't seeing it.
I think that originally I I thought he was great, and then when I tried him out in my cross-continental build, I really didn't like him. And I think that's because he really requires some other packages in your deck in order to utilize his full potential. I think he's great. He's so versatile in either coming down to prevent challenges like a swingback Rapunzel heal or a Maui Shark or a Go-Go Tamago. Those are just niche cases, but generally in this fast aggressive meta, he's so good at stabilizing the early board. He just completely blocks out 3/3s from questing, and he has 3 damage to take out Daisy Duck when the Simba has hit it for 1. He ramps you, he turns the Simba into ink. He's just very, very valuable. I think that he's one of the best cards in the meta. He obviously requires a very specific build of blue steel in order to maximize his full potential. I think that in the upcoming set, he might have to be put on the bench just because the build might be different. It might be 2 to 4 ramp or something different.
Okay.
But I think he's OP.
OP, man, everyone was making so much fun of the Pleekster dude, but I'm glad you got him in the
They
fight.
didn't believe.
They
They
didn't
didn't
believe.
believe.
And here he is, dude. Here he is, winning the Golden Mickey. Insane. Lamb, dude. We got to do this again. I absolutely have a blast with you, man. I've learned so much from you. You know what I'm saying? You're the one who came through and like showed me how to play this game and taught me a ton. So I do appreciate that. And I'm so glad to see that you're on Metafy. Is that correct? Offering coaching and all that. So you want to make sure you want to talk about that real quick and how that works?
Oh yeah, sure. So when I first did coaching, I didn't do it on Metafy. I would just do it like Discord calls. JD knows. But now the Metafy team, they've been really trying to get me on for like a couple months, and I've been procrastinating so hard because so many people were questioning my deck list. I thought it would be an amazing time to make a guide for the set 6 deck list, and it's not even just a gameplay guide. It's more so a half gameplay and deck building guide of how you can use creative deck building ideas in order to build a deck that's really strong into the meta. And so punishing certain decks' weak points, I think I talked about it in great detail in the guide there. You can also join the cottage community where you can just support me. It also gives you discounts on guides and coaching at certain tiers.
Okay.
But to anyone who does look at those options, thank you so much for supporting.
For sure. And I know this season's coming to an end. Set 6 is almost done as Set 7 is on its way out. So hopefully I'll be doing some updates for that, man. I'll definitely be looking into it and trying to support you, man, and see what you got coming up next, because you always make some really cool decks and you're a very consistent player. But is there any other special shout outs you want to give before we wrap this thing up and sign it on off?
Well, shout out to you first for letting me on here. My first student. We go way back. I wanted to shout out my local community. Thank you to them for being the reason why I got into this game in the first place. Even though I haven't been able to come out too much because of school, I really want to thank them because they're the ones who are always supporting me, always pushing me to do my best.
John Lamb, thank you so much for coming by, man. I do appreciate it as always. Make sure you guys get down to the comment section, ask Lamchops some questions, and I'm sure he'll probably reach out to you guys there. But and in the meantime, in between time, make sure you guys go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, you'll probably like some other videos we've done here. So go ahead and make sure you check them out. But as always, I'm JDZ. I'm on a quest. Shout out to the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.